Hi and welcome back. Oh my gosh, we are halfway through the school holidays and my goodness, it's just horrific. Can you hear that? So we have had a whingy, I'll put those up because I feel like you're just going to see the reflection of the fields outside. We have had a whingy child today. He is just so dysregulated with not being at school. He's like exhausted because he was up this morning at 2:35 banging on the windows, just like that's normal, like it's normal behaviour. And so I feel as though with these videos I haven't really got any order of how I thought in my head I would video them, because for me it's just, I've done lots of parenting courses, I work with complex needs, I am with my little boy all the time. I've done a lot of development with him, getting his EHCP, getting him everything that he kind of needs, that I feel like I wanted to have this process of how I was going to educate or teach you or help you with your autistic little ones. But actually, I think I'm just going to do it day by day because, well, not day by day, but as and when. Because the main thing that I think I've learned from this whole experience is that you actually can't predict how your little one's going to be that day. You can't predict how you're going to feel that day. It's very unstable, as in you can't, like today I'd planned to go for a nice drive up the coast, up to Bamber Castle, see all the seaside, because Easton doesn't like getting out of the car, and he doesn't like, it's almost like, is it aquaphobia where you don't like being outside? I feel like that's what he's got a little bit. But I was going to go pick my friend up, we were going to just get a coffee, drive, go to a place called Creel and Reel up the coast and get a sandwich. But last night Easton was up, like I say, from 2:30, he was exhausted. When I went into his room this morning, he'd actually fell asleep in a little pile on the floor. He just made a nest, which often he does if he's dysregulated. And so I thought, from the training sessions that I've done, one of the things that really stuck with me was making sure that your cup is not half full or empty, that your cup is as full as it can be. I've been a parent all of the time anyway, is like super hard. It's when you hear people say it, it's like a cliche when you're younger, like, oh my god, I'm doing like the hardest job of my life, I'm being a full-time mum, and you think that must be lovely, staying at home with the kids. Oh my gosh, those ladies need a medal, or dads, whoever's at home with the kids, we all need a medal. So I thought I would talk a little bit about how I fill my cup, and it can be taken, whichever way that you like it. You might love going for walks, you might love sitting down, just having a cup of tea, a nice hot cup of tea, not a cold one, and scrolling through your phone. Mine was a New Year's resolution, and the fact I was doing this course at the same time, well, sort of around the same time. I did a course last year, and then I've just finished doing a 10-week course. And mine was actually to really look after myself health-wise. So I take supplements. I take a mixture of them. I'll list them below, and I actually get this little, like on the 7 days a week, to make sure that I take it every day. So I feel like when I was running around after Easton, it was just really overwhelming at the fact I lost a lot of weight. I couldn't put weight on. I was super stressed. It was just coming out with my skin. My hair was falling out. I was losing a lot of my hair. My nails were really bad, and so kind of just got to a point where I thought I need to really start looking after myself, because I am the one that looks after our kids. These are fantastic. So one of my friends, Leisha, recommended, and another one of my friends, Sophie, and these are fantastic. So one is for your gut, and one is just for like a balanced tonic for women's health. So they are brilliant. And none of this, like, I am not a YouTuber, like I said to you, I'm not a YouTuber. So I genuinely, when you've got bits of armpit and stomach and everything else right in the camera, because I'm switching it on and off, it's because I don't really know how I'm supposed to do it. Anyway, maybe as I get further on, I'll be able to be a bit more swizzy with the videos, but I'm sorry, this is exactly how it is. And so they were really good. One's for gut health, because I feel, Oh my gosh, like when I had the stress at the worst level that it was at, I literally had just the most chewy, churned up stomach. I couldn't, if I was eating food, sometimes I was being sick with the anxiety and stress, which by the way, I never even knew what anxiety or stress was. Go back 20 years, I had no clue. When I would hear someone talk about anxiety or stress, I would think, oh, you know, that's like something that I couldn't never relate with. Hang on, here's the postman. Is he gonna? Oh, it's just, no, just a letter. I couldn't relate with it. Anyway, I really focused on my skin, and I like to purchase skincare. So some people might just be like, oh, I don't have time for that. But a way that I really make sure that I have time to be able to do this, like these videos. Easton is in the house, he's safe, he's in the living room, he's got his little snack box, he's got his little, it's not even a grab basket now because we don't really need them anymore, but it's like, he loves to stim with tiny little post-it notes at the minute, that's his thing. So he's got them, I make sure he's got everything he needs, he's had his lunch, he's not hungry, all of those needs that he can't tell me, all of them are met, and then that gives me a window of probably 15 to 20 minutes. So that's where I would, you know, go upstairs, I would do my facial, I would take my vitamins, I would make sure I'm drinking my, I don't even know what I would call these, they're like supplements, but I put them in just in a juice, so I just drink them like a fruit juice. So at the minute, I fell in love as well. Sorry for anybody who's not interested in skincare, but I love skincare. It's just my thing. It makes me feel happy, makes me feel better about myself. And I love having a skincare routine. So I've purchased this cleanser from Sunday Riley, which I would say is probably one of the best cleansers I've ever used. That and an Eve Lom cleanser are both my favourite cleansers. And then I have always not been able to use a vitamin C serum because my skin would just break out. It would be stingy and awful, but I actually was watching the Sheer Lux show with Mason a little while back, and this was on there from someone's like favourite product. I don't know if you can actually, there, that's focused. It's amazing. It's so nice. You can put it on morning and night. And then I use this Eve Lom. Now, anybody that knows us, I literally, hang on, see if it'll get it. I bang on about this Eve Lom TLC cream all the time. It's basically like a Sunday lunch for your skin. It just absorbs everything. Sometimes I use the face mask. Probably, is it gonna pick that up? I can't see, like, I feel like, how do these YouTubers actually do it? How do you do it? Anyway, this is an Eve Lom face mask. Sometimes I'll put this on if I feel, and I always do this when the kids have gone to bed. It's like my treat. I put it on, go upstairs. Usually my husband's watching the dart or football, which I really didn't think I signed up to in our marriage, but apparently I have. That's amazing. So yeah, and then I use this little Elizabeth Arden oldie but goldie. This little Elizabeth Arden 8-hour lip balm, which I've actually got on now. And honestly, doesn't matter how bad my day has been, if I make sure that I do this little routine, it's like my wind down routine, put some clean pajamas on, really like take the time to look after myself, I feel like I can face the next day. And I feel like I do get asked from a lot of people, like, how do you cope? How do you cope with it all? How have you, you know, like my friend was just on the phone, it was earlier, and she was like, you just see my face, like everything, you just forward face everything. And I actually don't. But you will know yourself that like fire you get in your belly for your little person. And my little person Easton just needs me all the time, and I just think if I don't do it, then he doesn't have a voice, you know, like, because you do as a mother end up being your child's voice, and you have to advocate for them. So that aside, what time we're on, because I don't want to bore people. Sometimes I think I put YouTube on, I think this is boring, so hopefully it's not boring, but this is about, the point to make on this experience is to have your cup full all the time, okay? You have to look after you first. It's like that when you're on an aeroplane, you need to put your air mask, is that what it's called? You need to put your mask on first to be able to save your child or save your loved ones, because if you're just burning both ends, but you're going to be upset, you're going to be feeling angry, you're going to be feeling emotional. Hang on, we've got movement. You're going to be feeling all of those things, and I think it's just really important to feel balanced and calm. And when you feel like this, you find that those transitions between your child looking like they're going to have a meltdown starts to change from them actually having the meltdown, because you're calm. I can remember when Easton used to sometimes make this noise. It was like a mix between like a foghorn and it would literally like hit me, and I would be like, oh my God, I need to leave. I would need to go. Like, I knew that was him getting upset. Whereas I think if I'd have just stayed more calm at the time, or being a little bit more balanced with my emotions, I probably wouldn't have had to be the fact that we'll have to leave or go from somewhere. Maybe we could just put him in the car, regulate him a little bit, let him stim for half an hour and go again. But yeah, I think it's just really important to have anything that you need. If that's going and playing a round of golf or cricket, or, you know, my husband and I, we really tag team between the two of us. So if I know that he looks like he needs a little bit of time, then I'll happily take that night where we'll get the kids to bed. I have that pamper night in the house. He might go across to the cricket club and have a few pints with his friends, and vice versa. If I'm like this, I mean, we'll laugh about this, but every year I go with my aunties, every year. I've done it for the last 2 years, round about Thanksgiving. Bear with me. This way. Careful. Hang on, come and sit. You coming? Oh, hello. There we go. This is his pillow that he carries around. And he's very tired today because he was up at 2:30 this morning, weren't you? You were.
Whoa.
Yeah, you were. You were. 999. Sometimes he just sounds German, don't you? Jump down and watch the camera. Where are you gonna go? Sorry, guys. Okay. We'll take a little break. So that is like proof in the pudding. Hang on, I'll try and get you back to where you were. So he, like years ago, I would have just kind of panicked at the fact that he was stressed. I wouldn't have known what it was he wants. And now I think because he handhold leads a lot of the time, where he just takes my hand and shows me what he wants, you just have to have the patience with him. So basically the objective of that whole conversation is for you to make sure that you are looking after number one first, and to not get lost off in the fact that you are only human, and you are going to find days really challenging, like super challenging. But just remember that when you wake up the following day, it's a new day, it's completely different. You're in a different vibe, your child's in a different vibe. Try and move on from whatever's happened previously. And one of the key things that I can say is, if you're upbeat and happy, your child will be upbeat and happy. Like, try just playing chasey with them, or tickling them, or, you know, we used to do this to Easton all the time, and like it would just make him laugh. Like, you need to try and find the funny, interactive side where you can kind of bring your child around from where they might be going into a little bit of a meltdown, that kind of thing. So that aside, thought that we would just take a little bit of time to talk about stimming. I don't know what that noise was. He's in the garage, can you hear him? 999. So I'm sorry if you can't really hear this properly. The door's going to slam as well, I think. So at the minute, Easton doesn't like doors being shut. One of his stims is to go around the whole house and open every single door possible that he can open. I'm going to speed this up a little bit because I think that he just probably wants me to go and play on the trampoline, which I thoroughly enjoy doing with him. But Easton has stims. He regulates himself by orally stimming, so he'll put things in and out of his mouth. Gosh, it took a while for me to get through to the school to say to them, like, he's not going to choke. I remember his first day at nursery, they rang us and were like, you're going to have to come back. He is putting everything in his mouth. And I was like, he's orally stimming. It's how he regulates himself. Oh my gosh, he's actually stimming now as we speak. I kind of want to show you this because to see if you can see. I don't know if you're going to be able to, but he's got a tiny little post-it note here, there. Sorry about this terrible filming. And so he uses this little plastic post-it note and he puts it in and out of his mouth, and he just does that, in and out, in and out. It is what it is. And we all laugh about it, but it's what regulates them. So don't ever like stop your child from stimming if it's a happy stim. I'm watching him now because he's 2 minutes. Shoes! Take those shoes off. There we go, clever boy. Other one. So we will eventually get this video done. Yeah, if he's stimming or they're stimming and they're happy, Easton used to pace. He would pace all the time. He would tap things with his thumb. He went through a phase of, he would have loved this like 2 years ago, of tapping like this. Then he went through a phase of empty bottles, sticks, basically anything that he shouldn't have. That's what he used to stim with, but like he would have got this and just put it in and out of his mouth. So there's a level of it where if it's dangerous, you do need to try and use a tactic to get them to stop the stim. It's basically just formulating habits, and the same way that you would do yourself. If you'd got yourself into a habit that you want to stop, you would either pick up a habit that's a better habit, like people stop smoking and then they sort of start vaping because that's a bit better for them, and then they come off smoking altogether, hopefully. Drinking, you know, they might limit the drinking down and then drink something that's alcohol free. With stimming, if there's a dangerous stim, so Easton, sometimes I don't even want to share this with you in case you think, oh my God, my child's going to do that, because they're all totally different. But last year when he couldn't regulate himself, he was literally pulling his hair out in handfuls by the root and just stimming with the hair that was in his hand. I was horrified. It's actually horrific to watch. He would stim, his stims could be quite dangerous. So, you know, he would climb up things that were like dangerous to climb up, or he would headbutt. The headbutt was more not a stim because he wasn't regulating himself with the headbutting. He was having a meltdown, and that was the result of a meltdown. So this little hat, absolute joy. I got 2 of them. I mean, they're wrecked now. It's just a little foam hat. Over here in the UK, you can get these free, no charge, from physiotherapy. Okay, so it's not occupational therapy, it's physiotherapy. Your local physiotherapist. They'll come out, they'll measure his head. They can make leather ones, like handmade, if your child continuously head bangs, smacks their heads off things, all of that kind of stuff. But this one, we got 2, and I remember at the time, because he doesn't wear hats or anything, I remember Tony, the lady came, measured his head, she was lovely, and then he let her do it, and Tony, I can remember saying to him, that's my husband, I don't think he's going to even let me put that hat on him. He's like, well, he's not going to have an option. And it was dangerous. He was hitting his head. He was like coming home from nursery with lumps on his head. And the lady brought the hat, and she had it like this, and she was at the house, and so she had it in the carrier bag. Is your hat? Show them. You're going to show them your hat. Will you even put it on now? Oh yeah. There we go. Show everyone. Oh my gosh. Show everyone your hat. He's got his post-it note in his mouth. So yeah, so he used to wear this hat all the time, and then now, do you want it on or off? He doesn't actually have to wear it, because basically, do you want it on? You can have it on. He started enjoying having it on, but when he first, sorry, tea break again. There we go. Are you keeping it on? He's keeping it on. So he looked at the hat in the lady's hand, and he looked at me, and he looked at her, and looked at me, and looked at me, sort of saying, you're not getting that on. Stimming. Just a little squealy stim noise. And I was so upset. I was on the phone with my husband, I was crying, I was like, he just won't put it on. It was like, he was screaming, I was trying to get it on him. I was like almost having to rugby tackle him to try and get it on. And my friend Michelle, Easty, So East actually doesn't like you saying the word no, so we just use instead. What's this? Ooh, shiny. So I went to my friend's house because Tony could see that my cup was completely empty. And while I was there, he said there's a picture message and it was just Easton sat with it on, and he said, it's literally like... What is that? He's so tired. He's so tired. He's just like, but I'm having to keep him awake because otherwise he won't sleep. Tony said it's literally like putting a lead on a puppy for the first time. So he was really upset, and then he gave him a little bowl of sweets, like a reward, like, you know, well done. And then that was it. He kept the hat on. We couldn't believe it. It was so good. It was so good that he then got to the point where he felt safe with it on. He stopped headbanging, doesn't pull his hair out anymore. We had to order another one because when it was going in the wash, he was like wanting it on. It was almost like the compression of it felt like security for him. So that was probably the most pivotal moment for me with his behaviour as well, and the fact that I started him on the magnesium and the vitamins sort of around about the same time as the helmet, because we got what professionals called crisis stage. Like, I was in crisis stage. I was ringing them going, oh my god, like, you know, if someone doesn't come out and help, he's going to hit his head so hard, he's going to end up with brain damage, he's going to end up knocking himself out, he could end up killing himself. I was just like horrified. It was a really bad experience, and that's what's making us want to share it all now. It's took a little bit of time for us to be able to get here, but I hope that it really helps. So don't feel like, you know, don't look at them and think, oh, people are going to judge, or people are going to this, or people are going to that. At the end of the day, you need to protect your child's safety. And if wearing a little soft hat, which to be fair, I think you look super cute in, for a few months is what you need to do, then that's what you need to do. Far better that than end up with things that is actually functional wrong with them because of this sort of dangerous behaviour. So yeah, so I guess the moral of that story is just don't worry about how they look, keep them totally safe. It's not a fashionable hat, it's not stylish. You actually can't purchase any that are more fashionable. So there's a little niche in the market there if anybody wants to team up with us to make some fashionable children's hats. But that was perfect. And I'm trying to think what else stopped the like little things on the doors. We've got all these little, so he went through a phase of slamming the door, you know, when he couldn't hit his head and it wasn't hurting him for that, feeling that pain, he would then slam the door. So we've got lots of plastic door stops. And with that all being said, oh my gosh, he's so heavy. Come on. With that all being said, oh my gosh, I am going to take my child to go and play on the trampoline. Thank you very much for watching. I hope I haven't rambled on too much, and I will see you on the next video.